Hi, my name is Dana Burley, and this is my video assignment for Capstone 2. This video will show my leadership journey through this coursework and my reflections on what it takes to become an effective leader. At the beginning of the coursework, I failed to realize my strengths and weaknesses as a leader. I hadn't thought about preparing a vision statement or setting goals for myself. I was a good listener and a hard worker who took on challenges each day with no outlook on my future goals. As a member of many teams at my workplace, I used only a limited amount of skills that I possessed when encountering various situations on a daily basis. I never gave much thought to reflecting on the tasks, my interactions with others, goal setting, and how my past experiences influenced my current decision making. I didn't take time to reflect on what type of leader I was or what type of leader I could potentially be. I've always considered myself to be a follower, one who was merely given a task and expected to follow through with it. I have learned in the class Issues in Organizational Leadership that an organization is a group of people with a common goal, while leadership is the position of guiding a group towards a vision. The relationship between leaders and followers is crucial to an organization's effectiveness, and it also has the ability to respond to change. How a leader reacts to these events and guides the group forward shows how effective a leader is. I have learned that there are many traits and skills that are needed to be an effective leader. Some examples of these traits are a motivation to lead, honesty and integrity, self-confidence, drive, and emotional maturity. These are also many theories of leadership that offer information on leaders' effectiveness based on such things as a leader's role, the type of leader, the situation, the relationship between the leader and a follower, past experiences, as well as tasks involved. An effective leader is self-evident of his strengths and weaknesses. A leader also learns from his past experiences to make future decisions and communicates effectively with his followers. This includes being an active listener as well as an effective delegator. A leader has a vision for success, and his job is to convince the organization that there is a need for change and guide his followers on a path to this success. A manager only focuses on short-term objectives and on bringing order and control to immediate issues. I have learned that in a successful organization, it is necessary to have both leaders and managers. The culture that exists in an organization needs to be molded by the leader. Teams play a crucial role in moving goals forward, and it is up to the leader to build high-performance teams. Often on teams, conflict arises, but it can be used effectively and positively. Conflict allows for team building to foster a trust among group members. An effective leader recognizes conflict and manages it successfully. Globalization in an organization also impacts a leader's performance. A leader must understand how cultural differences affect the organization, the team members, and leadership performance. Leadership is a journey. It is not a destination. It is a constant process that, when effective, helps create a productive organization. I have learned in data-driven decision-making that in today's world, in order for companies to compete effectively, they need to keep up with change. Change is a constant process, and how a company handles and responds to it will determine if the company grows and is successful. The effects of global technological changes requires immense transformations in the way companies produce and trade, and data collection is crucial in this process. Organizations need to gather data to know where and how to improve their services and to be able to make better predictions and smarter decisions. I have learned the importance of using tools to analyze data, which will guide decision making. There are many types of tools that can be used to collect and analyze data. Some examples are key performance indicators, tools measuring qualitative and quantitative data, as well as observations, questionnaires, interviews, documents, and tests. The data collected needs to be meaningful and linked to a desirable goal in order for leaders to make effective decisions. The data tool should measure the effectiveness of the services and validate and test the quality of the data. I have learned that leaders should trust the data and not their intuition to make informed decisions. Data analysis is a process. It is used to guide the goals of the organization. In the modern world, global technology requires organizations to constantly adjust and change. By using data analysis, organizations will stay one step ahead of the competition and have a competitive advantage. In the class Behavior, Ethics, and Leadership, I have learned that it is the responsibility of a leader to be able to recognize ethical issues and to place them into context from day to day. A leader should make decisions based on reasoning and information. The coursework assignments required us to read various case studies about top corporate companies and the ethical dilemmas in which they were involved. I learned that the leaders of these organizations had to make choices that had a direct influence on the internal and external environment of the organization. There are many approaches based on ethical standards that I have studied. There are the utilitarian approach, the rights approach, the fairness approach, the common good approach, and the virtue approach. Each of these approaches are based on standards of behavior, but each can also be disagreed upon by critics and experts on some level of their content. In dealing with ethical issues, it is important for one to be aware of one's own values in order to make decisions that revolve around ethical issues. I learned that there are several assessment exercises that offer reflection in areas of certain ethical dilemmas. Based on the assessments I took, I was able to use moral reasoning to help guide some of the decisions I needed to make at work. The work we do is related to our values. We have certain needs that need to be fulfilled, so therefore we are motivated to work. I have learned that people are intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. We behave morally by acting ethically in 4 different psychological sub-processes, such as moral sensitivity, moral judgment, moral motivation, and moral character. Power also has the capacity to control the behavior of others. There are many different types of power that play a key role in how moral issues are addressed. Self-assessments can be critical in identifying our limitations, our values, our character, our motivations, and our moral reasoning. All facets of an organization have ethical dimensions, and performing ethically can be a challenge. As learned in the coursework, organizations are the products of choices. Today, more than ever, organizations need to take action to make ethical choices because of the constant change in our global world. In the course of leadership theory, I have learned that a leader's traits, behavior, and how a leader reacts to conflict or events that arise plays a crucial role in the success of an organization. Leadership theories such as the traits approach, the behavior approach, and the contingency approach have been studied since 1930s, but still have applications in today's global organizations. Despite the many theories of leadership, there are many common traits that effective leaders share. Leaders should communicate effectively, offer training, provide feedback, and support to their staff. Leaders should maintain an open line of communication to build trust and to be able to respond to conflict when it arises. A leader has the responsibility to develop an action plan to prevent any type of problems that arise in the workplace. Executive leadership should always be supportive and guide subordinates to reach their goals as well as the goals of the organization. An organization's leader strives for continuous process improvements. Their goal is optimization within the organization using a well-planned process of analysis and design initiative across all departments. The most effective leader balances team efforts in guidelines with the organization's mission. In leading change, I have learned that change is constant. Change is a challenge for organizations. Today's organizations are experiencing ongoing environmental change and uncertainty. There are many forces that pressure this change. Because of the increase in global diversity and competition, the challenges are increasing for organizations to facilitate these changes. Organizational development is ongoing and long-term. It helps the organization as well as team members work towards their goal. Organizations need to keep up with other companies or get out. I have learned how important communication and a well-established vision is in the change process. The first and foremost is the need to bring about the awareness of the importance for the change. Change is to happen in small steps, and the change could possibly take many years. Leaders must empower employees to facilitate the change and to monitor the change efforts to make sure they align with the goals of the organization and that they are stable and constant. The culture of the organization also plays a vital role. It is the values and behaviors of the members that are the key factors in the change process. The change should be focused on the behavior of the organization rather than on trying to change the culture. With organizational change comes conflict within organizations. Conflict can be used to encourage people to freely argue and produce positive results in solving issues. It is the interchange between members that cause conflict, and proper management by leadership can end in positive results. Intergroup team building can offer assistance in gaining perspective of the tasks and goals at hand. This gained perspective can help a team member work with other team members to increase the effectiveness of the organization. Leaders and managers need to behave in a way that rewards the efforts of members when changes are being made. I have learned that it is up to the leader to initiate the change, but to also encourage self-directed behavior among team members. After the coursework, I have learned that becoming an effective leader is a constant process. I am more aware that I am on a journey to fulfill my role as a leader. I am now able to reflect on aspects of my career goals and know that there is something to learn from each new encounter. As a leader, I am not fearful of the unknown. I see the unknown as a challenge and now look for new ways to enhance my skills. Fear suggests a learning curve, and that learning is what I do as a step-by-step process. Most importantly, I've learned that I need to have a vision. I have learned that as a teaching assistant, it is my desire to have my own gym as a physical education teacher. I have already obtained my certification, and I am now finishing my bachelor's degree. As a leader today, I communicate more effectively, I am more assertive, and I plan more in advance. I learn from conflict, and I make it a top priority to behave ethically. I am a knowledge seeker, and I am constantly reflecting on my actions to make sure they are in alignment with my vision statement. Thank you.